You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, Ulises, I think it's going to happen. I think that there is going to be a new spring training complex in Pasco County that may house the Rays for some sort of purpose and may eventually not just be a training development complex for the Rays, but also maybe 10 years down the line or so, the spring training home of the Tampa Bay Rays. Pasco County instead of Charlotte County. $35 million, assuming that Ron DeSantis signs this item in the Florida state budget. What are your thoughts on this?
I love it. First of all, it gives you hope. By the way, how apropos that when the lockout is over, we can actually talk about spring training and spring training games.
It's nice. A contracted spring training schedule, which I'm okay with. I don't know if you necessarily need 32 spring training games.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you need that many games, but I feel like there should be more within team building and more, the guys getting to know each other and all that. I think I would chop more games for that matter. Yes. I think that matters more, the training and development and all that of the group. But going back to your question, yeah, I love it. It gives you hope that the talks are going well for the Rays to move to Tampa, to Hillsborough County. If you want to develop a $35 million or however much money it's going to end up costing there in Pasco County. Pasco County is growing, and you know this for a fact, Kevin. Yes. And just like the rest of Tampa Bay, why wouldn't you want to solidify that fandom that's already here and create something that's going to be closer to the eventual stadium? So they only have to have a 40-minute ride. A pitcher that is rehabbing could be in the dugout the same day that he trained with the trainers in Pasco County. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and look, I know there's always people that are going to poo-poo. Why is the state or why is the government subsidizing professional sports? Okay, I get that argument. And yes, the Rays would be using this facility, but it's not just for the Rays. It will also, there's going to be multiple fields that will be used for youth and amateur tournaments and events and regular programming. It's not just, we're building this $35 million structure facility, and it's only the Rays that can use it. It will also be, it will be a public use facility in some shape or fashion as well. So I think that's something that needs to be put out there as well. That is not just, Pasco County, or rather the state is building a edifice for the Rays to use all the time.
I think that's the way that it'll always be framed, because that's just the way that that rhetoric is. But I'm glad that you're saying that, and of course, also the opportunities that come with job creation too.
Tourism,
exactly, and tourism too. Tampa Bay is growing, like I said, at an alarming rate. Even people that are listening to this might have even better numbers that I could even pull out right now. But isn't it 6,000 people a month are moving to Tampa? Something stupid like that. It's MLB The Show type numbers. What's happening to Tampa, and you can see it in your rent, you can see it in your mortgage payments, everything. It's insane what's happening with Tampa. So I think it's a great move by the organization to try to cement that and do it in a way that can give hope to people that the team is not going away.
Yes.
And so that gives me a lot of hope.
I'm just going to put it out there. Yes, it is yet to be signed to the budget, but I'm like 99.99999% sure that this is going to get through.
Kevin, you're in the weeds of this. So how long until we know that it's going to be signed? Because I like the percentage there of confidence, but I need a date. Do you know what is the date that this could potentially become a reality?
I don't know the exact date, but I'll just frame it like this. So the $35 million, the plan was proposed by State Senator Danny Burgess, a Republican from Zephyr Hills, and that's obviously in Pasco County. What is also in Pasco County is the home of Florida Senate President Wilton Simpson. And Ron DeSantis, not to get too into politics here, but Ron DeSantis and Wilton Simpson are buddy-buddy. They get along. And also, Ron DeSantis played college baseball.
Yeah, he's a baseball player, yeah.
So this is getting through. This isn't getting... If it gets the blessing of Danny Burgess and it gets the blessing of Wilton Simpson, you can be damn sure it's going to get the blessing of Ron DeSantis. So I'm just going to frame it like that. I don't know when the exact date of when DeSantis can veto or approve it. I don't have that exact timeline in mind.
Okay.
But I would just be willing to bet that it's going to get through.
I think that's a great thing for Rays fans to hear, that this is going to happen. It's going to keep that fandom alive here. I mean, we talked about when 2 years ago or whatever, after the Ybor Stadium fell through, how, hey, have it in Lakeland, or hey, have it in Wesley Chapel. I think this is a fantastic opportunity to expand from Hillsborough to Pasco to maybe even Polk County by having that spring training right there in Pasco County. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Pasco growing with baseball and with the Rays, I sugar honey iced tea you not. All right. That stadium would be sold out. I think Pasco County, Hillsborough County, Polk County are just... They want baseball. I saw it when I went to the USF game. There's just this thirst for baseball, not having to cross a damn bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that spring training game, when it happens, hopefully that it happens, I think it would be a sellout.
Let's also frame it like this. Where the ballpark or where the facility is proposed to be built, I think near Starkey Ranch 54. That's not too far from Wesley Chapel. Where's everybody and their mother and brother and cousin moving to? Families, affluent families. They're all moving to Wesley Chapel.
Yeah.
And a lot of those families, a lot of those kids, a lot of those parents, grandparents, they grew up with baseball, and they came from somewhere else. So
isn't Wesley Chapel one of the highest median household disposable income, whatever,
in the Tampa Bay area? And it's also, I think, the fastest growing community, not just in the state, but in the country as well.
It just makes sense. And so I'm so happy that something is making sense for the Rays and for baseball. And I think this is a good thing for Rays fans.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's a couple more items we want to get to on this matter. But first, we have to tell you a couple things. Like Mission Impossible. It is written and read by New York Times bestselling author and athlete Tim Tebow, which encourages you to find your inspiration, pursue your purpose, and create a life for yourself that counts. So ignite a new spark in your life through this new inspirational listen. Mission Possible, I should say. Was I saying Mission Impossible the entire time?
I don't know.
It's Mission Possible. I'm just going to frame it like that. Not Tom Cruise, Tim Tebow. Mission Possible.
Yes.
Mission Possible by Tim Tebow is available everywhere where audiobooks are sold. Also, it is that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. From all the latest odds, contests, and player props, BetOnline.net is the #1 source for all of your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcast, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sport wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino game. So head over to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and actions. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. Okay, Ulises. So with all this news coming about, question here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say 2030. Come 2030, the Rays are playing their spring training games and their spring training schedule where?
Are you saying 2030 because the Port Charlotte lease ends in 2028?
Perhaps.
Okay. I think that's when it right
Yes.
after the drop. Yeah, I think they're playing at Pasco, and they're playing their major league games in Ybor City for 81.
I like it.
I honestly, I think that's the way that it's being built in everybody's heads right now.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. And I feel like it'll be easier and also down the line, this could also mean that not only do the Rays have a spring training home, but also a minor league team playing there.
It's
because
huge.
You already have Dunedin, Lakeland, Tampa, Clearwater. We can even go as far as Bradenton. And I mean, you could have the low A or the high A team for the Rays playing in Pasco County.
And what if you noticed all of those cities, what region is missing? That Pasco County.
Yes.
That top, that East Hillsborough, Northeast Hillsborough County. Like
kind of right in the center of it all. Yeah.
Exactly. I think I think it's to be a punch in the face and in a good way. To be able to capitalize on that. I'm really excited. I mean, this would be one of the most, if not the most popular attraction in all of Pasco County.
To me, it's weird in one sense because I find it's difficult enough to get to the Trop, but now you're asking a Tampa Bay resident to go to Port Charlotte to go to the spring training games. Like you're making me going all over the map here. At least keep me in this 30, 45-minute window. And I feel like that's a perfect area to be able to do all that. Now, of course, the Rays, you might not draw as much out-of-state tourism if you're Pasco County because the Rays are, a hometown team as opposed to, say, the Phillies or the Yankees set up shop in Pasco, but you're still going to draw fans from those other organizations into your community and spend money and maybe, make a weekend of it or whatever it may be. So
what's a cheaper Airbnb, Kevin? One in Pasco County or one by the beach?
That's a good point.
So if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan and you're like, oh, I want to be next to Dunedin, but you know what? I could also catch the Jays in Pasco County because it's cheaper.
And again, it's not just all about pro baseball here. There's also the youth and amateur aspect that's tied into this. And that's also part of what Pasco County's messaging is as Florida Sports Coast. They've already got a great indoor basketball multi-sports complex. They've got a great hockey complex, tennis complex. I mean, they've basically got everything except for baseball.
Which is unbelievable because you're in Florida.
Yeah. And Tampa Bay is sort of the community is sort of tied with baseball, of course.
Yeah.
And there's so many ball players that live in the Odessa area and Lutz area. So you can pull from that. You can do so much community building and outreach with present players, retired ball players, coaches, whatever it may be. I mean, you bring in some high school teams to train at the complex. You can really do a lot. Bring in the local college teams. I mean, create something for PHSC. Look, I know people are going to complain about like I mentioned before, the subsidizing pro sports organization.
Right.
I get that. But again, somebody's always going to have a problem with how their tax dollars are spent. I don't necessarily want my tax dollars spent on a $11 million performing arts center. I don't necessarily want my tax dollars spent on, the manatee population or oysters, but that's what it's spent on. So at least, give me something here that I can enjoy. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
Never did I ever thought we would talk about oysters in Locked On Rays. But
I mean, there's millions in the budget for oysters this year.
Look,
so
I love that you're giving that youth baseball aspect a little bit of a
And
spotlight.
softball too. Softball. I should also mention softball, not just baseball.
Because again, what's the biggest thing about the Rays? Oh, there's no fandom. There's no fandom. Get them while they're young. That youth aspect. You don't think a 10-year-old being asked to play or to practice or a baseball academy to be, oh man, I'm playing where the pros play or right next to the field where the pros play. Like, and you see the Rays and they get excited about that. And then they can latch on to that team. And maybe the Rays could be really smart and give out T-shirts and
Yes.
hats and all that for the academies or the youth teams that play there, and to get that fandom and for them to get connected to the team, to this maybe the spring training team, maybe the MLB team, or even the low A team, whatever gets to play there. I think that all is just the right way to growing the game and growing the fandom, which obviously you need to do as a young team, because I know that it's 1998 seems like a long time ago, but for a fan base to grow and to multiply and to have tradition, that takes a long time. And now it is the time where kids that were fans of Wade Boggs and McGriff and Miguel Cairo, okay, those kids that saw those players play at the Trop, now they're having kids.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a long time for that to grow. So I think making this Pasco spring training facility, having the youth there, making that connection, I think would only be a good thing for the race.
And let me just say this, if and when a minor league team gets involved in that facility, I want to be in on the name. I want to be in on the team name. Let me, give me a vote. Okay,
do you have something in mind? Or right now, I don't want to put you in the spot.
It's not nice. I need to brainstorm it because
oh, that would be a good episode too. Yeah. What would you name your minor league team for Pasco County? Yeah. Yes. Oh boy, we could have fun with this.
I mean, 10 years ago, we'd say the Pasco Pillheads, but we got to change that. It's different.
Yes.
But I don't know. The Pasco Scallops, I mean, they're trying to become more of a scalloping community, something with.
We can't Marlins this, though. We can't Marlins.
No, I think it's going to have to probably be some sort of wildlife creature, maybe.
All right. Well, maybe.
It might have to be an episode.
It might be an episode.
Let me also say this, that the ballpark, I think it should be named Built Bar Ballpark. I think that'd be the perfect name for it. That's the logo of Built Bar as you enter the gateway of the thing.
Welcome to Built Bar Park. There we go. And you get inside and you just have the opportunity to taste something that is covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, you heard me right. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. And you know what else? They're low in calorie and high in protein. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Kevin, do you think that all our listeners could give you those macros perfectly every time? I think
they could probably get them pretty close, I would say. Yeah,
I think so too. And that's because they know it to be true and they know that they taste so good. So what you have to do today to get those Built Bars in your hand and then in your stomach is go to built.com and use promo code LOCKED15 and you get 15% off your order. So today, do not delay. Go to built.com, use code LOCKED15 and you'll get 15% off at built.com. But that's not it, Kevin. I want to tell you how you can save time and money, and that's by using a Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30, 50, or even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or a car dealership? That don't make no sense. So Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers like yourself for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you could ever need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Go explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
Ulises, speaking of spring training and all that we've discussed, should note that the first spring training game is March 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of a 32-game spring training schedule, it'll be what? 19-game exhibition schedule. Have you looked at the schedule yet?
I have it right in front of me, Kevin.
Have you earmarked or circled games that you'll be going to?
I mean, it would be nice to see the reigning World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
So that would be fun. Also, it would be fun to see a victory. So maybe kick butt in Bradenton by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
If there's only one game you can go to.
Okay.
On between March 18th and April 6th, which I should note April 6th will be an exhibition game against the Phillies at Tropicana Field. Which game would you be going to?
It would have to be on the weekend.
Okay. So Saturday or Sunday,
right?
Not a Friday.
Exactly. So then it would leave. I think the Braves. I think I'd rather go see the Braves because Minnesota and the Red Sox. I'm going to go see them anyway. The American League team. So I would like to see a National League team. And honestly, between the Phillies, the Braves, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, tell me what's more quality there. I'll take the Braves.
What I would like to do, I've been to Charlotte Sports Park and I would like to go again, but I would really like to try to make it out to a ballpark I have yet to explore, like the Atlanta Braves ballpark in Northport. Well, and I've never been to Fenway South, I guess. In Fort Myers. Nor I don't think I've ever been to where the Phillies spring training is, Clearwater. I don't think I've been to a game there either.
Oh, okay.
So I've got some options.
Yeah, you do.
I've got some options. It's just about figuring out where I want to go. I'd like to try to schedule it to where I can maybe make a weekend down to my parents' place in Cape Coral and catch a couple games. Maybe if there's
Minnesota,
a game on a Friday and a Saturday or Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
I could technically from where my parents live, that's kind of ideal territory for spring training.
It really is,
with Port Charlotte, Northport, Fort Myers. So I might have my pick of the litter.
You could have a fulfilled weekend of spring training baseball. But
so watch out, Neil Solons. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Do you like the concentrated pod thing that they're doing? Just regionally for spring training, like they're not playing the Yankees.
I understand it for what they're going through now, but in a normal spring training, if you're going to have 32 games, I prefer I know it's not great for the bus drive and you got to kind of go all over Florida a little bit, but I would like you to kind of go around the Tampa Bay area and play those teams too.
Okay.
So that's how I see it anyway.
I think with the change in schedule in 2023, that won't matter to me as much because you'll get to see them anyway in games that matter. But for spring training, I agree. It would be in other circumstances. It would be nice to see, all of the teams go pass through.
Yeah, and especially if there's some people that get season tickets to spring training.
Yeah, that exists.
They don't want to see the same 5 teams.
No,
all the time. They want to see different teams. That's kind of part of the deal too.
That's the whole shebang. Yeah.
So it's interesting from that perspective. Okay, moving along here. We did mention that spring training. The first game will start on March 18th.
Yeah.
And the question is, will a race player be traded by March 18th, by the time of the first spring training game? Yes or no? I need a yes or no.
Well, first of all, should we do a warning label on this episode as well? Because
yes, we disclaimer. We are recording this episode on 10:22 a.m. on Saturday, March 12th. So
with this knowledge,
yes,
on Saturday, March 12th in the morning, I do think somebody's going to be traded before March 18th, which honestly, it's such a punch in the face to that player.
Yeah, lockout's over. Goodbye. It's like we've been waiting just for that moment to be able to trade you.
God, that would really suck because they're like, dude, you couldn't have told me.
The minute their name and likeness comes back online, they're getting shipped off.
Their picture comes alive in their gray avatar. Look, I that's why I think somebody's getting traded, and I know that, and I think that player knows it. Like they've told that player, hey, or players, hey, we're shopping you around.
Okay.
Just so you know, when this lockout happens and then it comes back alive, don't get too comfortable because we don't want to be bad.
What you're trying to say is to not get anybody in trouble that they contacted this player after the lockout ended?
No.
Oh, beforehand.
Before December 2nd. Okay. No, before December 2nd, they told the 3, 4, 5, 7 players that they have, hey, we're shopping you around. Don't go crazy.
I don't know. I feel like I get that, but I also feel like that is just such a gut punch that, like, if you're a player, like, why would you continue to want to work hard or take input from the organization at that point?
Well, because you know that the next organization that might have you But again, they're not telling you we're going to trade you.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, there is a possibility that you're
That's
getting traded.
such a mind effort, though, because if you've got a family and you have kids and that's what you're thinking about. Where am I going to move? And you're just in a holding pattern. Like, I feel like,
What's worse though? A holding pattern for 3 months, at least knowing, hey, I might, or not knowing at all, and then lockout ends, and in 3 days, hey, you're traded.
Knowing
bleep.
I don't know. I might dump you, and that keeps going on for 3 months, and that's all you're thinking about, or it's ripping the Band-Aid off.
So if you are watching this on YouTube, please let us know on the comments what you would rather in what camp would you rather be? The one that knows for 3 months, or the one that, hey,
all right,
gotta go.
And again, prefacing all this that we are recording early.
Yeah.
Who is that player or players?
I have a podium.
Okay.
I have 2 established major leaguers and 1 prospect.
Okay.
Austin Meadows.
He's your number 1? Or you're going 3-1?
3-1.
Okay.
3-1. Austin Meadows could sell high of sorts. Universal DH is very intriguing. Yes, he is about not below average defensively. I think either below average, just about, or average defensively in the outfield. So, I think the Universal DH helps him get a little bit more teams attracted to him. There's a bigger pool for his services. So he's on my podium.
Okay.
Kevin Kiermaier, obviously.
Okay.
Just monetarily, you can offload his salary. I think at his best, $12 million is more than fair for what he brings to the team. The question is, will the bat, if the bat plays the same as last year, $12 million is a fair salary for Kevin Kiermaier.
Right.
And if we're going on the hey, the Rays are going to be spending more money, then $12 million should not be something stringent to keep the face of the franchise throughout the bad lean years.
Okay.
But my number 1 is Vidal Brujan.
Oh, okay.
He's still a highly touted prospect.
You're finally getting on board with when I brought that up a long time ago. And that was all poo-pooed, and now you're coming back around.
He's got shine on him. You should get a nice piece for the right price, for the right GM that picks up that phone call. I would love if he could become a major leaguer for the Rays. I think he's going to be really good. However, we've talked about you can't just stockpile these guys. Yeah. Some of them either make room from the top, or you're going to have to trade them.
Yeah.
And I think Vidal Brujan could be that guy that, unfortunately, if you're looking at Josh Lowe, if you're looking at him, and then you're looking at Taylor Walls, I think Taylor Walls has the edge on the other 2 on getting more playing time in 2022. Yeah. He will be like that Joey Wendell type. So
I don't think you want to deal Taylor Walls because you sort of have, you've got more of a glut in the outfield compared to the infield.
So then Vidal Brujan just seems like the odd man out right now for me.
Yeah.
Because Josh Lowe will be the eventual Kevin Kiermaier. We know this. It doesn't have to happen this season. It doesn't have to start right away, him being a center fielder. Hello. Yeah. Kevin Kiermaier was a right fielder, people. Let's remember that, okay, in his first year. So Josh Lowe is not taking center field in his first game.
Right.
Okay, that's not happening.
That's Manny Margot and Brett Phillips if Kevin Kiermaier gets traded.
Exactly. You ease that in. Vidal Brujan doesn't have an exact position. And maybe that's good in certain cases, but in this one, it doesn't give him an exact path.
Yeah. No Tyler Glasnow on this podium.
No, he's staying.
I agree because, for one, considering all the circumstances around this season, teams, in my opinion, don't have the luxury of – they're trying to build a team right now. They're trying to put a roster together right now. They can't think about next season. No, they want pitchers and they want available players right now in free agency. I see Tyler Glasnow more of maybe a trade deadline deal or offseason deal, or he just stays with the Rays through the rest of his arbitration years.
I don't think Tyler Glasnow is going to be wearing any type of other MLB uniform until 2023 is over.
That's fair too. I just don't think – I think there's definitely several other guys on the list to be traded before Tyler Glasnow.
Do you have a podium?
I don't know if I have a podium per se, but I definitely think Kevin Kiermaier's on the outs. I think Kevin Kiermaier is more likely to be traded than Austin Meadows at this point.
Okay.
I would think that the Rays would want a really, really, really good deal for Austin Meadows. And
agree.
In order to trade Austin Meadows, it has to be one of those need for need trades. Okay, we're trading Austin Meadows. Give us a really good right-handed bat. Give us a power bat.
Yeah.
Give us that first base type. Give us that Garrett Cooper plus something else, maybe something along those lines. I do have like Manny Margot on here, but that's just because if Kevin Kiermaier doesn't get traded, I feel like he might be the next guy to go.
Yeah.
That's $5 million that, comes off the books. But I feel like they're really trying to push Kevin Kiermaier. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't think necessarily by March 18th, but sooner rather than later, something's going to happen to G-Man Choi. Something's going to happen to G-Man Choi. Jonathan Aranda, if he continues to make progress, you've got other corner infielders on the come up like Curtis Mead and Austin Shenton. And if the Rays were absolutely serious about Freddie Freeman, maybe they're serious about other flashy type players that play first base.
Like I said last year, I am no longer speculating on G-Man Choi's future. Because I've been wrong too many times. So, you know what? For now, I'm just going to say G-Man Choi is going to be forever a Ray. So there it is.
You just won't comment on G-Man Choi. We have no further comment on G-Man Choi.
We have no comment. I do not recall.
All right. What was it? I misremembered. Yeah, I misremembered. All right. Thank you for listening to the Locked On Rays podcast. Well, I said that weird. Locked On Rays podcast. It's a Saturday morning.
There you go.
Make sure you make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. That's also a good listen to check out. And the MLB Prospects podcast. That's a fun one too. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you again soon.